Okay, where am I?
Okay. Okay, I can see a few people coming in now, which is good. We'll just give it another minute while people log on. Okay, another 20 seconds and we'll make a start. Righto, let's go. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the second session of our live Q&A as part of the virtual Longy Open Day. And this has been, quite a unique situation with our unique open day, with our virtual open day, should I say, with the COVID pandemic causing all sorts of mayhem this year. But as we've seen right throughout the country, we've all adapted, and this is our way of adapting open day. So this is really interactive, and this is your opportunity to ask me any questions. I'm John Goldsmith. I'm the principal at Longy College, and looking forward to engaging with you, and we'll work through our questions. So just type them in, and we'll just work through them down the list, and we should enjoy the next 30 minutes. Righto, so we've got a question already, and this is from Indy. Thinking to do Cert 4 in Ag for 2 years. I do have my Cert 2 and 3 in Ag already. Can I do Cert 4 in Ag in first year and Cert 4 wool classing for my second year? Wow, there's a bit of a combo there, Indy. And I suggest we need to have some one-on-one discussion with you. And you may have been to the website already and seen the presentation from Barry Ray, our training manager, and he would be the one to talk you through this. But fair to say, if you've already done a Certificate 2 and 3, we'd be looking for you to either go into the first year Advanced Diploma of Agribusiness Management or into second year Certificate 4. We do have precedents where students have done that in the past. I'm not sure whether you've completed year 11 or year 12 at this stage, but we'd certainly work through that. And I guess just some advice for everybody, and the way we go about ensuring every student is enrolled in the right course. We like to do an interview with you, and that can be by Zoom in this day and age, but just to make sure that we don't set you up for failure and make sure that that you are enrolled in the right course and you get the right outcome at the end of your training in terms of your career. So Indy, I suggest you get in contact with us. Okay, just a question I've got here from Steve around tuition and accommodation costs, and I'll go through the tuition fees for a start. And it does depend on which course you're enrolled in as to what fees, but I'll just briefly explain it. So the tuition fees for the Certificate 4 in Agriculture, if you're a first year student next year, and can I just put the caveat on this that they're not locked in until we get our advice from the government. We set our fees each year around sort of October, November. Basically, we've got to wait for the government to provide advice around the subsidised fees that they give us. So for a Certificate 4 student in 2020, the fees were $2,080 for first year, and second year it was $2,600. So which we think is really reasonable. If you're an advanced diploma of agribusiness student, a first year student, your tuition fee is $2,600, and then that bumps up to $4,350 in second year because the government subsidises that course a little less. Each of those years also has to pay a student amenities fee, which is $350 per year on top of your tuition fee, which again we think provides a pretty reasonable package. Then we look at the accommodation costs, and again I've pretty much got these locked in for 2021. So it'll be just over $320, so it'll be $321 per week, which includes your room, which is 7 days a week, whilst you're on campus for the academic year, and also some meals. We have on-site caterers, and you get 5 breakfasts, so Monday to Friday, and then you have 4 dinners on top of that, so 4 evening meals Monday to Thursday. The remainder of the time, weekends and at lunchtime, you basically cook your own and prepare your own meals in our kitchenettes. At lunchtime, our caterers do provide a takeaway service. So that gives you a feel for the total fees. Right, I do have a question here from Alex. I'm looking at doing an advanced diploma in agribusiness management. I'm from South Australia. How do I get about, since I'm from South Australia? Also, how long can I defer? Okay, 2 questions there, Alex. There's actually no problem coming into Victoria at the moment. Obviously, restrictions are changing from time to time, and we're certainly seeing the whole COVID situation heading in the right direction. We have a number of interstate students at Longy at the moment, and unfortunately the ones that we've got have had to stay during the mid-semester break. So we've actually got a 2-week break now. They're all actually staying at Longy because they can't get home over the border to then come back. The thing is, once you come from South Australia, you can reside at Longy for the whole year if you had to. Now, we hope that the COVID situation improves in 2021 and that you wouldn't have to do that, but we'll just have to wait and see. Can you defer? Absolutely, yes, that's an option. We have students defer every year. Can I just give a word of advice around deferring? I'd have to say my experience has shown that a greater proportion of students who defer never actually continue on with their study. And the reason being that, they get a job, they get some accommodation, they might have a relationship, and all those things, and they decide to just keep working and don't continue with their studies. Now, that's not everybody. Need to be sure about that, because there are some students who go and work, they earn some money, and then they come to us after a 12-month period. So, but those students have to be really committed and sticking to their plan. So you can defer, and basically you can defer as long as you like, but the longer you leave it, probably the more unlikely you are to return as a student. Shakaya, what's the cost of wool classing? Yep, so the wool classing, if you just do wool classing, Shakaya, again, it's just over $2,600. That's off the top of my head. I've got that fee in front of me, but I'm pretty sure to do the whole Certificate 4 in wool classing, which is your professional ticket, it's basically $2,600 for the year. If you are a Certificate 4 student, or an advanced diploma student, you actually don't have to pay any additional tuition fee for the wool classing. It's actually, the Certificate 4 students, it's timetabled into your program. The advanced diploma students, you get to do your wool classing when you have some free periods, because the great thing about wool classing is that it is self-paced. So you can pick and choose when you do it, excluding if you're a Cert 4 who does it within their timetable. Hayden, what courses do Longy offer? Hayden, can I suggest you have a look at Barry Ray's course presentation on the website as part of the virtual open day today. Barry explains the courses. He really focuses on our full-time courses, which are the Advanced Diploma of Agribusiness Management and the Certificate 4 in Ag. So if I just touch on those briefly, the Advanced Diploma of Agribusiness Management, or ADAM as we refer to it, the ADAM course really is our flagship course. It's for Year 12 students, so to get entry you need to have completed Year 12, and it's a 2-year full-time course, and that's where we have the greatest enrolments. We also have the Certificate 4, which is for Year 11 entry. Smaller number of students who have pretty much just had enough of school but still want to do some training, and it's really hands-on practical. And then additional to that, we have an apprenticeship program where those students, well, they're actually working on farms, they're employed, and they come to Longy for apprenticeship blocks. And as an example, our Certificate 3 students, they do 6 training blocks throughout the year, and the rest of the time they're working on their farms. Another one from Hayden, and also does Longy run any veterinary science courses? Short answer, no, Hayden, we don't do any vet science. Nicole, do all prospective diploma students for 2021 have an interview prior to receiving an offer? Not necessarily, Nicole. We like to touch base with everyone, and if you are interested in 2021, I'm sure our Business Development Officer, Donna, will most likely touch base with you at some stage. Our Training Manager, Barry, just likes to make sure that we've got you in the right course, because it's all about you and making sure we set you up for success. Particularly in this day and age where it's really difficult to, and with COVID, to get to the campus, we'll be conducting a number of Zoom sessions, etc. So if you complete Year 12, and let's just use an example, if you complete Year 12 this year, you have strong results, get an ATAR of say 60, you send us your results. That's pretty straightforward, and you'll just be admitted straight into the ADAM course. But particularly with this year, I think it's important just to touch base with us. With the COVID protocols, it's been really difficult for prospective students to get to the campus and come and have a look. And we really encourage that. Come and see the facilities. I call it the touch, feel, smell. Get your hands on and actually see what you're in for. Go into a room if you're staying on campus, and look at the storage and all that sort of thing. So we'll hopefully be touching base with all students. And whilst I'm on that, we are hoping to run an information day in December. Now that'll be the first Friday in December, so stay tuned on that one. As the restrictions ease, we're planning that we'll be able to host a small number of prospective students to come and tour the facilities. Outside of that, we'll also be doing some one-on-one tours with prospective students as well. So, but stay tuned about the information day, and we'll certainly be promoting that through social media, through our website, etc. And anyone who's inquired, we'll be letting you know, and Donna will certainly do that. Harrod, hi John, I'm interested in the Diploma of Agronomy. Is it possible to complete this via correspondence, and what is the costs? Yes, certainly is, Harrod. So we've been running the Diploma of Agronomy online for a number of years now, and that's been quite successful. It's certainly suited some people who've been working, so they're working whilst they're completing it. Also, it really suits a lot of people who are interstate, who can't get to the campus. So each unit, there was 10 units in the Diploma of Agronomy this year. There is an upgrade to the qualification coming in 2021 that will increase to 12 units. And to give you an indication, there's two ways that you pay your fees. If you're a government subsidised student, which will depend on your eligibility, or your fee for service if you're not eligible for subsidies, which will depend on your age, previous study, etc. So for a fee for service student, each unit varies depending on the length of the unit, but an average is about $600 per unit. So you can multiply that out. However, if you're a government subsidised student, the tuition fee is just over $4,000. Yeah. And just on that online study, what we're finding is, particularly if people are working, it does take them a fair bit longer to complete than what they originally thought. And that's pretty much just because of, when you're working, you get home, you've got to prepare a meal, whatever, to then sit down and study for a period of time. You need to be fairly focused and committed. So just go in with eyes wide open is my commentary there. Okay, Indy, are there concession price for the course? Yes, Indy, there is. And this all relates to having a healthcare card. So for students who are eligible for a healthcare card through Centrelink, your tuition fee actually reduces by 80%. And that gap is then made up by the government. So anyone who is eligible for a healthcare card and is coming to Longy in 2021, I strongly recommend you get onto that sooner rather than later, so that you've got your healthcare card organised upon enrolment day. So when you turn up on enrolment day, because that is a major saving. Amy, do you have many underage people each year? That is, kids finishing year 11 this year. Yeah, we have a small number, Amy. Pretty much everyone who goes into second year, most of the students who by the time they get to second year, they've turned 18. But we certainly have a number of particularly 17-year-olds. And if I think about this year, for example, I think we had about a dozen who are underage, and obviously have their 18th birthday throughout the year. So yeah, a small number each year. Alex, the cost of Adam. So you might have missed that at the start, Adam, but I'll repeat it. So the tuition fee for the Adam course, and remembering this isn't locked in, but for 2020 it was $2,600 for first year, and second year was $4,350, which is the tuition fee. And that provides me a really good opportunity actually to talk about vet student loans. So for students who can't pay that fee up front, there is the ability to sign up for vet student loans. We are a registered VSL provider. So it's a bit like HECS. It seems that most people seem to understand the term HECS fee, which is associated with higher education university courses. So VSL is the vocational equivalent, and you can actually take out a vet student loan and borrow that money from the government. It comes directly to us, and then you pay that back to the government on a percentage basis once you commence employment. So yeah, that's an option which a small number of students took up this year. Noah, hey John, I'm interested in the Cert 4 in Ag. Can I be working at the same time? Really, really difficult, Noah, to complete the Cert 4 on campus full time. So if you're working, you might consider, there's a couple of options for you. You might consider an apprenticeship if you want to get a certificate for, depending on what you're doing for work at the moment. And depending on your background and your employment status, what you've already done, the Diploma of Agronomy online might be the way to go. But can I suggest, Noah, that you contact us and we'll have a further discussion. So either put in an inquiry or ring the college in the near future and we'll talk through your situation. Okay, Amanda, can you enrol straight into Adam after year 12? Or does the student need to complete Cert 4 first? Yeah, great question, Amanda. I'll explain that in a little bit more detail. So the Advanced Diploma of Agribusiness Management is actually a 2-year package. And the way we've set it up is that once you've completed year 12, in first year, you'll actually enrol in a Certificate 3 in Ag and a Certificate 4 in Ag concurrently. So that way, it's like a stepping stone. And if for some unknown reason at the end of first year, the student had to leave, there's various reasons, it wouldn't be like a wasted year. You actually get a qualification. Now, we don't promote that, don't get me wrong. It's a 2-year package. That's the way we parcel it up. And certainly when you get out into industry, the Advanced Diploma of Agribusiness Management will open a lot more doors than just a Certificate 3 or Certificate 4. So that's why we promote the 2-year package. But yes, absolutely, we'll enrol you in the Cert 3 and 4, and then you move on to the ADAM in the second year. Okay, got one here from Brett. Is there any local work around as I need to fund myself? Yeah, look, we appreciate that some people struggle financially, and we've had students every year. I guess there's been a percentage of students who've had to work to support themselves, and so some have actually travelled quite a distance this year, notwithstanding the COVID protocols. But there is some work around. But the key is that whatever work you get, and look, over the years, I guess we've had people work at McDonald's and Kentucky, etc. You've got to be really careful that it doesn't impact on your training program. So that's the word of advice. Build your training program, focus on that first, and then support it financially however you can. I'd have to say we're acutely aware that some people struggle financially. So we've made a real effort to build the scholarship program, and really proud to say that this year we've handed out almost $250,000 in scholarships to students. We've actually applied for more funding for 2021, so we'll be hoping to hand out even more money next year. So we'll be waiting on a government announcement within, well, hopefully the not too distant future regarding that. So yeah, so scholarships are also a really good way of supporting yourself. And might I say, I'm always astounded every year at the lack of students who apply for scholarships. I know as a parent, I'd be encouraging my son or my daughter to apply for every scholarship possible. So yeah, please feel free to apply for scholarships if you're coming next year. We've got Indy back again. Is there placement with wool classing course and Cert 4 in Ag? No, there's no industry placement with the wool classing, Indy. However, there certainly is with the Certificate 4 in Ag. So the Certificate 4 in Agriculture course, which is the 2-year program for Year 11 leavers, there's actually 2 blocks of placement. So you have one 8-week block in first year, at the end of first year, and then another one in second year at different times of year, and that's to suit. One is focused more around harvest, one is around the cropping season. Not that that's everything you have to do, but that's just one of the key things that we've looked at with the timing. So yeah. Got one here from Barry. I already have some units from another college. Do I have to do them again? Short answer, Barry, is no. You certainly get credits for your units that you've completed elsewhere. However, we will actually talk to you one-on-one about whether you want to participate in the training again. Some of the training, is actually a good idea to go through it again. And whilst we don't get funded to offer that training to you again, we strongly encourage you to do so, because particularly around skills, you're actually working with other groups of students, and it's great to be involved with them. You'll be learning off those guys. You'll be learning off different staff to what you would have done previously. And so, yeah, the short answer is yes, you'll get the credit, but we encourage you to redo that training just to make sure you're maintaining your currency with whatever training skill that is. Thanks, Barry, for that question. It's really good. Tina, what's the general ratio of girls to boys in the ADAM course? Well, this has been an interesting trend, Tina. I'll digress slightly. I am an ex-student from just, well, a long time ago. Back in my day, I think it was a ratio of 1 to 5. That was 1 female to 5 males. As we stand here now in 2020, it's 50-50. The ratio is 1 to 1, and that's a trend we've seen over time. And I guess that's a reflection of agriculture and the change in agriculture. You go back 20, 30, 40 years ago, very, very labour intensive and very manual, whereas now, as we know, agriculture is really focused on business. It's more about the mind than the muscle, is what I say. So yeah, 50-50, Tina. So thanks for that question. I've got one here from Belinda. Can I stay on campus on weekends? Yes, Belinda, absolutely. When you start in February, if you start next year in February, it's your room up until till the breaks. Typically, students will go home during the breaks, refresh, go home, get a bit of home-cooked meal, and then come back. But that room is yours 7 days a week. Got one here from Amelia. Can I bring my horse? Yes, Amelia. We set up some horse yards about 5 years ago, and yeah, pleased to say that we've had horses come every year. And I like nothing better than seeing the students riding their horse at the end of the day around the campus. So we've got 9 yards. There is a small adjustment fee, and that's basically just to maintain the facility. Horses being horses, they have a knack of knocking over fences and etc. So yeah, we're really pleased to be able to offer that as a service to our students. I do have another question here on the similar theme. Are pets allowed? No pets allowed, apart from horses. I have a lot of requests every year about bringing a dog. Please understand, our livestock coordinator, he has a couple of sheep dogs, and it just doesn't work having other dogs there. So we've just got a no pet rule, and you'll just have to leave them at home, unfortunately. Right, I'm just looking at this next one here. This is from Simon. Do I have to live on campus to attend Longy College? No, you don't. You don't, Simon. However, I must say that the majority of our students do live on site, and particularly first years. I think it's really important to get the whole experience, not just the academic side of things, but the whole social side of the college, and living together and becoming great friends is really important. So strongly recommend you stay on campus, particularly for the first year, if not both years. But you don't have to, and we have some students who travel each day. Shakaya, do you have to pay outright, or is there a payment plan available? Yeah, look, we have a number of combinations, Shakaya. Some students and parents, etc., like to pay up front, and that's a service we provide. Or you can go into a payment plan situation where there are repayments made every fortnight to spread it throughout the year, and that's done on a one-on-one basis. We'll sit down with each student who requests that. So yeah. All right. Another question here from Mel. So how do I apply? So we have an application form, Mel. We lovingly refer to as the gold form. So, and I strongly recommend that anyone who's even interested or considering coming to Longy next year, that you complete the application form just so you get in the system. And that way we'll have you on the list, and we'll keep in touch with you. There's no obligations to it. You're not locked in, and so do that if you're interested. The way the process works is we get your application form, we'll send you a letter acknowledging your application, and then we'll wait for you to get your results. So if you're studying this year and you're waiting to get year 12 results, for example, you send them in once received. That will then put us in a position of making you a formal offer. And appreciate the dates that the government have been working on this year with year 12 results, but we would love to be able to give you an offer before Christmas so that it's all locked in and you know what you're doing for 2021. So, yeah. Righto, we're nearing the end of our 30 minutes. If there's any more questions you'd like to send my way, you've got a couple of minutes to do so. Just looking for it. Got a question here from Peter. What is the balance between practical and theory? Yeah, good question, Peter. It depends on the course that you do. Certificate 4 in agriculture, yep, loads of prac, really focused on prac. The ADAM course, a lot of prac in first year, but then that transitions to more theory and business studies in second year. That's the nature of the course, and we've got to tailor that to the outcomes. Our graduates from the ADAM course becoming farm managers and agronomists, etc. So they need to have a bit of theory training behind them as well. So horses for courses. We actually have a large number of our Certificate 4 students who, once completing the 2 years of Cert 4, then articulate into the last year of the ADAM course. So they actually spend 3 years with us. Nicole, got a question from you. I've read a bit about the tertiary access payment. It says there will be more information to come. Will you update us when that happens? Absolutely, Nicole. I've been waiting for several weeks now. A bit like you, the government made the announcement and said, yes, there's more information to come. And I've really been hanging on that. So absolutely, we'll get that information out to all prospective students as soon as that becomes available, because that, again, some really good financial support possibly there for students next year. Final one here from Indy. Can you enter the college without finishing year 11 or year 12? Depends on your age, Indy, and depends which course you're applying for. Year 11 is our minimum entry requirement to get into the Certificate 4, and year 12 to get into the ADAM. However, if you're a mature age student, you've been out working for a period of time, then that's a different requirement. So we would work through that one-on-one with you, depending on your circumstances. Claire, if I came up for 1 day a week and the rest online for the Diploma of Agronomy, how long would it take to complete roughly? Good question, Claire. Look, I guess having had students enroll in the agronomy course for 6 years now online, we're seeing some who are really committed and work through it. It depends. It's a bit like how long's a bit of string, because how committed you are to the course. I think if you're fairly committed to it, it's probably fair to say you should be able to get through it in 2 years. We're probably, the average is more like 3, where students are enrolling in 1 or 2 subjects per semester. I guess there are a couple who are taking 4 to 5 years as well. So again, eyes wide open when you start the course. So, okay, right. Well, it looks like we've nearly got to the end, unless there's any last minute questions. And look, even if you think of a question after, oh, gee, I wish I'd asked that. Look, please feel free to put your question in via the inquiry form on the website, or even better, contact us directly. Get on the phone. You can talk to myself, or you can talk to our business development officer, Donna, who many of you may have already, or Barry Ray, our training manager. We're certainly all there to help, and acutely aware that we haven't had the on-campus open day this year. It's a very different situation, so communication is critical. So yeah, please get in touch if you need more information. So look, on that note, thanks very much for your involvement. Thanks very much for being involved in the live Q&A, and I hope that you now, if you haven't already, take the opportunity to explore the video clips that are on our website as part of the virtual open day. And it's worth noting that some of those clips, many of those clips, are actually produced by our students, which hats off to them. That's actually part of their human resource management subject this year, that they've put that material together. And I'm sure you'll smile when you see some of the clips and the passion and enthusiasm that our students have for studying at Longy. So all the best. Look, I hope to see you in 2021, and if not, certainly for the info day later this year, if we can have that according to the COVID situation. So thanks for being involved, and all the best.